Morning, students. This morning we're going to look at another special equation, and these are fractional equations, right? And here we have a situation where we want to solve for a in this equation. So the goal is to find the value of a u in this equation, right? Where 1 over 3a minus 1 is equal to 2 over a plus 1 minus 3 over 8. Now, how are we going to proceed now? The first thing we have to do is to find the LCM. Back in primary school, we got simple fractions to add, and we had to find an LCM, right? This is a similar situation, but it's a little more advanced. Looking at this, it looks difficult, but the LCM is simply multiplying the denominators by themselves. Right? So all of these denominators are going to be multiplied together. So we're going to have an LCM that looks like this. So the LCM actually is going to look like this. LCM is going to be 8 times 3a minus 1 times a plus 1. This will be actually the LCM, right? And the reason why we're doing it this way, because we want to get rid of the bottom denominators when we're solving for a. So the next step now is to multiply the LCM by both sides of the equation. So we're going to multiply 1 over 3a minus 1 by all of this. So we're going to have 8, which is going to lead to 8 into 3a minus 1 times a plus 1 is going to be multiplying by 1 over 3a minus 1. We actually bring down the equal sign, and this is going to be repeated for the LCM. All of this over here is going to be multiplied by the LCM. But we have to put everything in bracket on the right hand side. So we're going to have 2 over a plus 1 minus 3 over 8. When we complete the bracket, we're going to write the LCM on this side now. So we're going to have 8 into what? 8 into 3a minus 1 again times a plus 1. And the reason why we do this is because we want to actually remove these denominators, and you'll see why when I'm working it out, right? Now let's go to the left hand side now. Remember, we're multiplying this by the LCM, right? So right away we can get some cancellations here. We can cancel this with this so far, and we're now left with 8 times this times 1. So this is going to come down to 8 into a plus 1 times 1, which is really the same thing. And we're going to bring down the equal sign, and we're going to do a similar thing over here. Over here we can cancel, for this first term here, we can cancel this and this. So we're going to be left back with 2 times this. So it's going to be 2 times, let's write in a square bracket, times 8 into 3a minus 1. Then we close this bracket. We bring down the minus sign now. We're going to multiply this fraction now by all of this. So we're going to cancel this 8 with this 8. Right? Then we're now left with this plus this to multiply by the 3. So we're going to have 3 into 3a minus 1 times a plus 1. Right? So far so good. We're going to start simplifying now. So we're going to have 8a over here. 8a plus 8 is equal to what? We're going to simplify this bracket first. We're going to get a3 is 24a. 8 times 3 is 24a. And 8 times minus 1 is minus 8. And we're going to actually work out these, expand these two brackets. So we're going to get 3a times a is 3a squared. 3a times a positive 1 is positive 3a. Negative 1 times a is a negative a. And a negative 1 times a positive 1 is a negative 1. We're going to continue. 8a plus 8 is going to be now equal to, we're going to now expand this now, right? So 2 times 24a is going to be 48a. And 2 times negative 8 is a negative 16. We're going to expand this bracket now. So that's going to be minus 3 times this is going to be 9a squared. Minus 3 times a positive 3a is going to give you a negative, negative 9a, pardon. And a negative 3 times an a, negative a is going to be a positive 3a. A negative 3 multiplied by a negative 1 is going to give you a positive 3. So we're getting there. We're actually simplifying everything now. So this is going to be 8a plus 8. Let us simplify the right hand side first. We're going to bring this to the front, 9a squared. That's going to be positive 48a minus 9a plus 3a. So we've actually brought down the 9a, we brought down the 3a, and we're now left with 16 and a 3. And that's going to give us what? When we have a negative 16 and a positive 3, we're going to get a negative 13. So all of these have been brought down. But we have to deal with this now. We have to carry these over here to the right. So we're going to be left with 0 over here. And all of the signs for these going to the right will be changed. So we're going to have negative 9a squared, positive 48a, minus 9a, plus a 3a. This becomes a negative 8a. And this becomes a negative 8. So we still have the negative 13, and now we're going to add a negative 8 to that. So the 0 is going to be equal to what? Negative 9a squared still. And we have to now add the 3a to the 48a. That's going to be 51a. Right, so we brought down these. The 9a and the 8a, these are both negative numbers, so that's going to be negative 17a. So these are also brought down. And then we're going to be left back with a negative 21. So we're getting there. 0 is equal to negative 9a squared. Now this from this is going to leave a positive 34. 34a, and we're going to be left with a 21. From here, what we do now, it's difficult to solve quadratics with a negative a value. So we're going to switch the signs. We're going to change the sign, right? So all of these signs will be changed. So 0 is still going to be equal to 9a squared. This becomes negative 34a. And this becomes a positive 21. Now looking at this expression, it's hard to solve by factorization. So to be on the safe side, what we're going to do, we're going to use a formula. All right, we're going to use a formula. This is the formula that we will use. Since we're solving for a is going to be equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4c over 2a. And this boils down to, what is b? B is 34. Right? B is negative 34. So a negative 34 is going to be a positive 34, right? So we're going to have 34 plus or minus the square root of what? 34 squared, negative 34 squared rather, minus 4 times, what is A? A is what? 9, and C is 21. And all of this is going to be over 2 times 9. 2 times A, 2 times 9, that's 18. So when we work it down now, we're going to get something like, we're going to keep working down until we get the value of A. So this is going to be 34 plus or minus the square root of what now? The square root of 34, negative 34, is going to be 1156. When you put that in the calculator, you're going to get 1156. Minus, this works out to 756. When it's minus 756. Because of the time factor, we don't want to. You can always do that in the calculator, right? This is going to boil down to 34 plus or minus the square root of 400 over 18. Right? When you subtract, you're going to get 400. And this is going to equal to 34 plus or minus 20, because the square root of 400 is 20, and everything is going to be over 18. Right? So from here, you will see that A has two answers. A will give you two different values right here. 34 plus 20 over 18 is 54 over 18. And 34 minus 20 is going to be what? 14 over 18. And this is going to be equal to 3. So our first value for A is 3. And our second value for A is going to be 7 over 9. When we reduce this fraction, it becomes 7 over 9. So the hardest part of this problem was to actually work out all of this. And of course, you had to find the LCM, which is this, right? You had to find the LCM. And we find the LCM and multiply both sides by the LCM, and we actually did some cancellations and eventually went through this process. But the thing is, if you go back to the video and take a serious look at how everything was done, it will stick in your mind, right? Don't allow all of these to confuse you, these workings. Just go back to the video and you will see how easy it is after you see it over and over and over again. Remember to subscribe and like the video and share the video. Thanks for watching.